So this is model and draw. This pencil is 10 centimeters long. What is the most reasonable estimate for the length of the ribbon? So if this pencil is 10 centimeters long, this pencil, I'll use something else, I'm not using pencil. This pencil is 10 centimeters long. We have to think, okay, look at this ribbon. Is this ribbon longer than the pencil or shorter than the pencil? So if the pencil is 10 centimeters, I'm going to write right on the pencil that it's 10 centimeters. 10 centimeters to remind me. So if this ribbon is longer, then we're going to know immediately, okay, well, it can't be 7 because 7 is less than that. And we can look at it and we can say, all right, well, if this was 20 centimeters over here, then this would have to be twice as long as the pencil. Is it twice as long as the pencil? No, it is not. So it can't be 20 centimeters either. That's not a reasonable estimate. So I would do a guess or an estimate that it's 13 centimeters long. The ribbon is longer than the pencil, so that makes 7 centimeters not reasonable. The ribbon is not twice as long, so that makes 20 centimeters not reasonable. The ribbon is just a little longer than the pencil, so 13 centimeters is the most reasonable estimate. So now we have this piece of yarn, and then we have this crayon. It says the yarn is about 5 centimeters long, so that means this is 5 centimeters. So if this is 5 centimeters, I have to circle the best estimate for the crayon. Well, is the crayon, first thing, is the crayon longer or shorter than the piece of yarn? So it's longer than the yarn. So we can look at it and then we can say, okay, well, how much longer is it? Is it 2 times longer than the piece of yarn? Or is it 4 times longer than the piece of yarn? So if we look at it and we actually kind of drew a line there, we can see that this is kind of almost the same distance from here to here, the same length from here to here and here to here. So if this part of it is 5 centimeters, I'm going to do cm for centimeters, then that would mean this part would have to be 5 centimeters. And then 5 plus 5 equals 10 centimeters. So if you don't want to write out centimeters every time, then you can just write cm, which means centimeters. Number 2, the string is about 12 centimeters long. So that means this whole string is 12 centimeters long. Circle the best estimate for the length of the straw. So we're going to look at that. We can look at that and think, well, is the straw longer than the yarn or is it shorter than the yarn? Well, you should say it's shorter than the yarn, so it can't be more than 12, so it has to be less than 12. Then if we look at it again and we say, all right, well, here's my choices: 3 centimeters, 7 centimeters, or 11 centimeters. Another way to think about this is to be like you can do your, like with your little cube, 1, 2, 3, but you do it in your head because you're estimating. You have to kind of remember how big that cube is. 1, 2, 3. Well, it's the straw, 1, 2, 3 is definitely longer than 3 centimeters, so it can't be 3 centimeters. But then I look at 7 centimeters, well, it might be 7 centimeters because half of this yarn would be 6, and that's a little bit more, so 7 looks good, but I'm going to look at 11. If it was 11, it would have to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 would be like to here, but it's not that long. The straw stops there. So it cannot be 11. So it has to be 7 centimeters. And if you think, is this a reasonable estimate? You look at it and you think, well, half would be about here on the yarn. And this is like one more cube than half. So 7 centimeters is correct. So you're just going to continue and do this on your own. You're going to compare each of these things. It tells you here in the question stem what it is. The rope is 8 centimeters long. Circle the best estimate for the length of the paper clip. The pencil is about 11 centimeters long. The hair clip is 7 centimeters long, and the ribbon is 13 centimeters long. And then do your estimates or guess how long you think those objects are that go with them. When you're done with that, you can do this page. Number 7 says, for each question, circle the best estimate. About how long is a new crayon? So you have to think about a new crayon. And for this, you can look at your ruler and think, how long is a new crayon? And then you guess what it is. Is it 10 centimeters? Is it 5? Or is it 20, which would be all the way over here? Then, for this one, it says, about how long is a new pencil? And you can use your crayon and a pencil if you want to figure this out too. And you have to figure out, would it be 20 centimeters, 40 centimeters, or 50 centimeters? Then this one says, Mr. Lott has 250 more centimeters of tape than Mrs. Sanchez. Mr. Lott has 775 centimeters of tape. How many centimeters of tape does Mr. Sanchez have? So what you're looking at is you're looking at this. Mr. Lott has 250 more than Mrs. Sanchez, So Mr. Lott has 775 centimeters of tape, and he has 250 more than Mrs. Sanchez. So I always write this out. Mr. Lott has 775. Then 775 centimeters of tape. Mrs. Sanchez has 250 less than Mr. Lott because he has 250 more than her. So if Mr. Lott has 250 more centimeters of tape than Mrs. Sanchez, then you have to think in your head, are we going to subtract or are we going to add? So we're going to do something with those two numbers. Oops, I'm writing the wrong numbers. Something with those two numbers, and we're going to think, what operation will we use? It's either going to be addition or subtraction. Mr. Lott has 250 more centimeters of tape than Mrs. Sanchez. So would Mrs. Sanchez have less than him? If he has more than her, he would have to. So that means we're going to have to subtract. And then you can figure that one out. The last one says, remember, it's a think smarter, so you have to dig deep. The think smarter ones, you always have to dig deep. This feather is about 7 centimeters long. Rachel says the yarn is about 14 centimeters long. Is she correct? Explain. You're going to write yes or no, and then you're going to tell me why you think that. Use your words. Don't skip this one. Use your words to explain to me how you know if it's a yes or no response. Then when you're finished with that, you can take a break if you want to, or you can go on and do your homework. Your homework is the same thing, remember? And then for number 3, you're just going to draw something else that's that size. And number 4, you're going to pick one of these to do, and then just talk about, in your own words, why you thought that was the correct estimate. And then on the back of this page, we have at measuring, subtraction, addition, and money review. So all that stuff you know how to do, so you can do all of those questions. Have a great rest of your day. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or feel free to send me a message. And if you need anything else, please message me and let me know you guys are doing okay. Have a great day, and I will talk to you later. I'll be working on a bedtime story. Love you.